Arieste Garev Arnanum Dealish. Whitehall, Colmcille and Fianna about to meet here in Parnell Park and O'Toole Park. Ballantyre St John's taking on Ballyboden St Enda's. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll get score updates from that game. It's also a huge encounter. That is Group 1. This is a very closely fought group. St Jude's on top on 2 points. St Vincent's just behind them on scoring difference on 2 points. Whitehall, Colmcille in third, and Fianna in fourth. Both of them have 0 points. Just one game played each. So there is time to turn things around, but you'd want to be thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the minute silence probably puts everything into perspective. It's a game of football at the end of the day. Yep. But for the guys out in the field now, it's about emptying the tank for 60 minutes. Both of them need results. You'd expect them then to go after the game and try and get a result. So let's hope we see a good quality game of football, a little bit more open than maybe defensive, to try and see if we can get a few scores. And while the sun is shining now, there's probably more showers on the way for us.
There certainly is. Fianna in the primrose and blue, Whitehall, Colmcille in the white and the red. A win for either team makes it kind of clear for them what they need to do in the last match. A draw, well, it kind of throws everything up in the air. And of course, obviously, there's another game to be played in this group over the weekend, St Vincent's against Jude. So this group could look very differently at the end of the weekend, but right now it's looking good for St Vincent's and St Jude's. Can Fianna or Whitehall, Colmcille make it look better for themselves? We'll find out over the next wee while. That was a good get to the ball by Conor Early. We mentioned him pre-game, the loud man, a big part of Mickey Hart's team this season. Here's Dara Scanlon. Good take by McDermott. Bobbing and weaving as Rory Kearns slaloming through heavy Fianna traffic. Josh Thorpe, he's got a bit of an engine on him. He can make those kind of supporting runs. Whitehall, Colmcille looking for that long ball already in the game. This has to be read perfectly. It wasn't perfect, but well, I was about to say it'll do, but it was collected by Whitehall, Colmcille. That's really good defending. Getting in there, getting a hand in. Kieran Redden. Here's Ali Fitzgerald. That's a 50-50 at best. Who's it going to be won by? Dara Scanlon trying to make it his, and he does. Scanlon wants it back, gets it back. Scanlon having a look around. There's Costello. Fresh from another All-Ireland title win. Sean Giles. Costello continues his run. He's followed by Dara Kennedy. Owen O'Donnell. Owen O'Donnell getting away there from Conor Early. O'Donnell, pace and power. Costello. And Costello kicks the first point of the game. O'Donnell and Costello combining and showing what they can do.
Yeah, great score for Fianna, great start. Very interesting how they've set up. They've left Conor Keane inside, Owen O'Donnell has stayed out, so they're very much looking to try and exploit space in that Fianna full back line. Keane has been left on his own, O'Donnell has stayed outside the 45, unless they're going to shift that around now. But certainly a great score, worked it very well in terms of creating the space inside for Costello.
Donald Ryan, by the way, the one to replace Owen Merchant, who is out. He's not in the squad either, he won't play today. That's a big loss for Fianna. Collected well by Ali Fitzgerald. The man we spoke about there, Ryan, got it forward to Redden. Fianna working it through on the burst. Glenn O'Reilly, long-time servant. Kieran Redden, Conor Early. Fianna patient, recycled to Fitzgerald, has Ryan with them. Goes back inside instead. Tries to open it up with a crossfield ball, a good one as well. Kennedy. Whitehall, Colmcille with almost everyone behind the ball. That was a needless push, and it's a free in. The push coming from Endo O'Donnell.
Yeah, I'm struggling to work out what Fianna's game plan is early on here because they've left a big hole inside in the full forward line initially, so there was no option to let the ball in early. When they reset then, they had a couple of players inside, but there's a spare man sitting back in Josh Thorpe, so it's going to be very difficult to hit that inside line. It'll require scores out the field, I think.
Here's Flynn. Smith. Byrne. McHugh. Just didn't have the room to shoot, and we know all of the players that we mentioned in that move can shoot, but Whitehall, Colmcille blocked up the space. Glenn O'Reilly as Luke McCarthy goes down off the ball and it's turned over. Kicking it away is O'Donnell, and then he collects it. Cormac Costello is running in front. Costello takes. Costello has a man with him. Inside is Eddie Moran. O'Donnell, and it's a free in.
And there could be a black card here. Cormac Costello on the run there, gave a pass off. Then when he was looking to get a return pass, he was held back and pulled to the ground. So it'll be interesting to see what way this is looked at by the referee. There's certainly having a chat. Is it only just a noting into the book? I'm surprised that there's not a card, because there was a scoring opportunity there for Whitehall that was impeded by the tackle. No, nothing given by the referee. Surprised with that. Thought maybe there was something more to give. Costello will have a go off the ground, I'm sure.
Whitehall Colmcille looking to double their lead. Costello with the only one from play so far. Can he score one from a free? The wind is against him, but he's still more than capable of landing it from this kind of position. It's a wind that has picked up as well. It's a clean strike. It's a good strike. It's Whitehall Colmcille who lead by 2.
Yeah, he's had a great start. We mentioned in the opening just how influential he can be for Whitehall. 2 scores, one from place ball. That's what he brings to the team. Great to see him start so well from a Whitehall perspective.
Redden looking for OD and not finding him. O'Donnell pickpockets him. We mentioned O'Donnell's strength in or around the square, but when they bring him out to this kind of middle third, he can win ball, and he's got pace as well. He's just got everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, great player. Look, just the passes aren't sticking for Fianna early, so it's not giving him an opportunity to demonstrate them early on here.
Kearns, floating ball inside. Keane gets there. Overcooked the pass slightly to Costello, but Costello's able to keep it alive. McDermott, nice sidestep. Kearns, good ball. The snapshot comes from Gannon and goes wide.
Yeah, unlucky from Gannon. Well won by Keane inside. Looked like the ball was going to travel out wide. Did well to recycle it to get it back across the field. Good opportunity for Lee Gannon. Just pulled it on the wrong side.
O'Hanlon with an inch-perfect kick out. Brian O'Leary has a runner with them. O'Leary will take it on himself for the first time. Fianna really in behind here. Aaron Byrne. Byrne was thinking about going for goal, but then said, you know what, I'll just pop it over.
Yeah, the great kick out. I mentioned the kickers at the start of the game there. O'Hanlon finds O'Leary on the, almost on his own 45-metre line. Did well to break free from Lee Gannon. Couple of hand passes and the ball's knocked over the bar, and Fianna get a first score of the game.
David O'Hanlon, both a winner and a loser of Stephen Cluxton coming back, because no doubt you would improve as a goalkeeper working with Cluxton. The obvious downside is that you lose out on a match day place. But it's Stephen Cluxton, so it's understandable. Yeah. I think any player can understand that. They can get on board with that. Gannon.
Very unlucky, but a lot of goalkeepers have suffered over 20 years because of Stephen Cluxton's brilliance.
Costello undercooks it. O'Hanlon. OD. And O'Hanlon still has time on his side. Cluxton will probably stop at about 60, so just wait 18 more years and O'Hanlon. Fitzgerald wanted it, but didn't get it. Here's Redden. O'Leary. It's a decent idea, but just getting the hand in there brilliantly was Matty Moran. Here's Luke McCarthy.
Yeah, Seamus Smith just slowed up there. Good work to maybe win it back here. Brilliant turnover from O'Leary.
O'Leary goes backwards. Redden gave to O'Leary. O'Leary's foul on the way through by McCarthy.
Yeah, Dave Feeney's going to have a look at the notebook. Bad tackle. Be lucky to come away without a yellow card. Surprised there wasn't one given earlier. I mentioned it, but Dave Feeney certainly having a more stern talk or chat anyway. Yeah, came right across the top of him. It's a bad tackle. Deserves a yellow card. Nafina improved inside the first 10 minutes. A little bit concerned for them how they had set up initially from an attacking point of view, but they seem now to have Conor McHugh, Seamus Smith parked inside rather than floating out around the 45-metre line where they originally. David Hanlon coming up to have a look at this one. A little over 45 out.
The breeze at his back. David O'Hanlon to equalise. It has the air. Does it have the accuracy? Yes, it does. That's fantastic from O'Hanlon. The kick itself was actually more begging than Cluxton, but it worked. It was fantastic.
Yeah, lovely. Just let the breeze take the ball, following his technique. You know, didn't force it. Struck it lovely, sends it over the bar. 2 points apiece. Nice opening 10 minutes.
Not a whole pile of backspin on it either. Whitehall Colmcille look to retake the lead. That's excellent running by Kearns. McDermott. Scanlon. From a tight enough angle, Scanlon puts it over. Good score.
No, I think it's wide. No, wrong side of the post, yeah. Just drifted as was coming across. Second one wide. Great run from wing back Rory Kearns there. Fed the ball across, but just second chance left behind. There is a strong breeze coming over the church end there, so they're doing their damnedest not to let it influence the game so far.
That's what I get for listening rather than watching. I heard the cheer and just went with it. Here's Scanlon. Gives it away. Redden moved it on. Connor Early. Ryan. Good hands by Gus Farrell. Fianna kind of growing into this one. He was going to go long, but saw that the man inside was well covered. That's an attempt at goal from Aaron Byrne. That's an attempt that goes wide.
Yeah, a little bit better. You can see that Aaron Byrne, where he took that from, he's banking on the wind blowing onto his back there. Maybe could have taken it a step or two further on to just secure the point. A couple of bad wides either end of the field there.
Well, both lost their opening games, but both did enough in those games to suggest that they could get out of the group if they got it right.
There's no doubt. I mean, look where the Fianna were last year. Whitehall.
Brian O'Leary. Brian O'Leary. Good score. Well taken. His first.
New balls, please. That one's gone sailing into the golf course at the back end. Yeah, sometimes when you're playing with a wind behind you like that, like the game is very simple, you know. You're not going to score from 65 metres out. So the earlier you can get the ball into your inside line, the better chance you have of getting scores. Just sometimes baffles when you have that quality that the Fianna have, that they don't just give them the ball more often to let them see what they can do up front.
3 points in a row for Fianna. Outside it goes from Thorpe. Whitehall Colmcille haven't scored since the 5th minute. Eddie Moran. Endo O'Donnell. Oh, not in the square at the moment. Endo looking around, having to go backwards to Eddie Moran. Josh Thorpe. Rory Kearns. Lee Gannon. Well taken. Kelly made the run, he didn't get it, but Conor Keane will take it on. And Conor Keane gets a good score.
Yeah, great show and go there. Fake to go with the pass outside him. The defender bought it, turned away, created a little bit of space for himself, knocked it over the bar. Great move. Mentioned he's been left inside. Certainly causing problems early on. Brilliant take by Kearns in the middle of the field.
Fantastic. Gannon. Costello wants it, didn't get it. Gannon continued his run. Keane again. Here's O'Donnell. Goes with the fist rather than the boot, and it's wide. A third wide for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, didn't look overly comfortable when he was putting his fist to it. You know, just, you look back at Keane's chance there, half chance goal after leaving the defender behind him. Again with O'Donnell, looked like someone was coming off the shoulder who was possibly impeded. So they're creating scoring chances, doing very well with the wind blowing into their face at the minute. David
Lacey, a long-time servant of Fianna. That's a really good ball. Conor McHugh has turned. Conor McHugh in goal. Conor McHugh! Oh, eventually it goes in. It took its time. It's a great goal from Conor McHugh.
It just doubles down on the point he was making a couple of minutes ago. Like the talent that the Fianna have in their inside line, wins the ball, spins off the defender, and suddenly he's bearing down on goal. Almost wins it back there. Great work from Aaron Byrne. But that's where the opportunities are. You know, defenders just can't get to him. Looks to go across the goal, pulls it near side. Goalkeeper gets a hand on it. Cummins, but unlucky to keep it out. Big score for the Fianna.
A massive score for Fianna. Whitehall Colmcille get a free. Can they turn it into something massive? Long ball inside. Might bounce towards McDermott. No, he doesn't get there. Fianna defend it well and then lose it. Here's Costello. Costello lost his footing. The surface is very wet. We, as I said earlier, had a deluge about half an hour before the game. Fianna getting into their stride now. Here's Conor Early. Ali Fitzgerald. Collected by Brian O'Leary. Making a burst out in front of Seamus Smith, who does receive it. McHugh wants it. 2 on him. And the 2 beats the 1.
Yeah, and Connor hasn't come out of that well. He was chasing back there, maybe just tweak something. He's gone to ground. Be a concern for Fianna.
Luke McCarthy. That's a good ball, a decent ball. Josh Thorpe. Costello. Taking on Dara Kennedy. Costello. He'll take on anyone, won't he, Costello? Shot smothered. Didn't mind the fact that he was up against 3 defenders. He was willing to do the hard running. And
yeah, great hands from Owen O'D. Got a block on it, took the sting out of it, allowed O'Hanlon get grip on it, get it away again. Conor McHugh still on the ground here to our right-hand side as we look out.
Conor McHugh, a busy man, playing Senior 1 hurling and football. Glenn O'Reilly. Seamus Smith was after drifting in behind, but they didn't go to him. Here's Brian O'Leary. O'Reilly.
I think Conor McHugh is in trouble here. O'Shea,
yeah, he hasn't got back
made
up.
Signals to the sideline as well to bring someone in. Big loss for Fianna if it is the case.
He has to be careful here, but he does get away from his marker. That was Donald Ryan who received from Redden. Glenn O'Reilly. Redden. Flynn. Beg your pardon, that's Kennedy. Ryan. Redden. Ryan. Early. Early, trying to shake off Dara Scanlon. Early still with it. He's a hard man to dispossess, isn't he? Good ball to Flynn. It opens up for Flynn. He measures, shoots, and puts it between the sticks. Good score from Flynn.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of guys looking elsewhere when that play broke out that no one picked up Flynn spinning through there. Managed to stick it over the bar and haven't had a poor enough start inside the first 6 minutes. You know, brilliant last, 8-10 minutes for Fianna, really nailing down, using the wind to their back as well, causing Whitehall problems.
The kick out won by Redden. Nice movement, great footwork. Here's Flynn again. Lacey outside, running onto it. O'Reilly. O'Reilly's going to take it on. O'Reilly went for it. O'Reilly gets the boomer. That's fantastic.
Yeah, massive score as Conor McHugh makes his way off the field to be replaced by Sean Caffrey. Glenn O'Reilly sticks one over the bar to let him know he won't be that badly missed. Brilliant score from the Fianna. Real press on the Whitehall kick out. Putting significant pressure on Whitehall now, and they just need to bed down Whitehall, try and get something out of the next couple of minutes.
1-2 without reply from Fianna has them very much in control. Here's McDermott trying to get away from the snapping tackle of Ali Fitzgerald. Fianna turned it over. That's brilliant. Here's Flynn, who's been so impressive in the last couple of minutes. It could be in again. Good hand in there, an important hand in from Matty Moran.
Yeah, defensively, Whitehall are just struggling at the minute. There's a lot of bodies back, but maybe there's not a lot of ownership in terms of who's marking who. And that Navy left the gap for Vinnie Flynn in terms of his score. Glenn O'Reilly shot across the field to knock one over. So sometimes bodies in a big group in the middle there is great for just curtailing ball, but unless you're actually significantly tagging someone, causes a problem when they're able to spin the ball out. Fianna certainly using it very well in this last 10 minutes.
Stephen Lawless wasn't named to start for Whitehall Colmcille, but it is him who's in goal. Here is O'Hanlon for Fianna. He's already scored 1.
Dara Cummins has had a brilliant 20 minutes in goals there, given he wasn't in goals.
If it can happen in a World Cup, it can happen here. Remember the Morocco keeper?
Yeah. Just watching the style here of O'Hanlon just striking through it.
Bit more backlift this time because he's at a different angle.
Great kick.
That is magnificent. That is absolutely magnificent.
A shout from underneath us here, you boy, you Dave. I'd be delighted with that too. Brilliant scores. Using the elements just to sail it over the bar. Fianna totally in command at the minute.
Paul Kelly, the Mayo man. Out it goes from Stephen Lawless, Luke McCarthy. And they certainly have a goal threat, Whitehall, Colmcille and Owen O'Donnell. And now he is hovering around the square. Eddie Moran. Good ball, Lee Gannon. Lee Gannon picked it up on the run. He's letting it in. Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell gets a much needed score for his team. He's first of the game.
Yeah, great work from Lee Gannon. He's named it corner forward to start at centre back. Drove through the middle there and then fires the ball in early again. You know, get it in front of the guys who could do the damage, give them a chance to score. Brilliant hit, brilliant score.
A first score in almost 8 minutes for Whitehall Colmcille. The trouble is that Na Fianna have scored 1-4 in that time. Brian O'Leary.
It's all a little bit passive from Whitehall in this area. It gives Na Fianna a chance to pick out these type of passes.
Sean Caffrey.
Did well to keep it in, Caffrey.
It wouldn't be Na Fianna without a Caffrey on the field, would it? Sean Caffrey trying to escape from Scanlon, who fouls him, and it's a free in.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I mentioned the bodies, you know, unless you're actually getting hands on, trying to get a turnover in the ball, it then allows Na Fianna, I won't say very easily, but with a little less pressure to get a pass away. David O'Hanlon is trotting up again. Might be able to get his third at a half, not putting any pressure on him, but I just have. But, you know, that's probably the difference, you know, out around the middle. Na Fianna probably a little bit more aggressive in the tackle, managed to turn over Whitehall a couple of times. In similar situations, it's, you know, Na Fianna who are managing to get those passes away, and you're seeing a little bit more from the inside line. O'Leary's been very visible. Conor McHugh's goal before he left the field. Brilliant score. Just that little bit more dominant at the moment.
Ballantyre leading Ballypoden 1-3 to 4 points in O'Toole Park. That's the Group 1 match.
Blow it up, ref. Blow it up.
Carey with the goal for Ballantyre there. They've got quite a crop of young players coming through Ballantyre St. John's.
Yeah, brilliant work. A team who were unlucky maybe to leave a minor A championship behind them.
Oh, he shaves the post. He's unlucky. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That's Na Fianna's second white?
Correct.
As in I'm wrong? Or
no,
okay.
I won't correct you.
That's all right. I'm just so surprised about being right, that's all.
Yeah, you can see the impact of the breeze just hanging up in the air there. Kieran Redden got away with one there. Thought he touched the ball on the ground.
Smith needs options. He finds one on O'Leary.
Yeah, that's two on the spin now, I think. Dave Feeney was reckoning he gave a hand pass. It was a fantastic hand pass, and he managed to work it from the position he was in.
Ryan back to O'Reilly, who's already got a good point in this game. Drifting in behind was O'Leary. He wasn't spotted. Or he was spotted and they decided the pass was too difficult. That's a difficult one to take on. It ends up being a Gary Owen off the boot of O'Reilly. Thorpe. Scanlon tidies it up quite well, gets it out to McDermott. And Whitehall Colmcille come out of defence.
Big gap into the inside line. Need to help him out here. Costello coming now. Can they find a pass?
Here's O'Donnell. End O'Donnell to Cormac Costello. Owen O'Donnell comes out to meet him. Costello will take it on. And why not? That's a good score.
Yeah, that's a brilliant score. He took off running from maybe 20 yards behind the play. He knew that they were short on numbers along their half-forward line. Broke the line, made the difference in terms of giving an option on the ball. Slings it over the bar. Brilliant score. Second on the spin for Whitehall.
That's right. That's the second time in the match they've scored 2 on the bounce. Seamus Smith. Conor Early. Vinny Flynn. Flynn still going. And O'Donnell taking little nibbles out of him. And that was handled on the ground by Vinny Flynn, and that is a free out. McDermott. Paul Kelly. Luke McCarthy. Paul Kelly. Trying to get away there from Ali Fitzgerald. Here's Luke McCarthy. Moran. McDermott. Scanlon. You can pop up on either wing, Scanlon. McDermott, was he pushed? Referee says no, but it's still Whitehall who have it. Scanlon has a go. Scanlon kicks it wide. A 4th wide for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with their shooting. They're leaving scores behind them. They're doing great work to a point when it comes to their attack and play. and then just putting it on the wrong side of the upright on 4 occasions now at this stage, and a couple into the goalie's hands. So a lot of scoring opportunities where they got nothing from them.
Ryan to Caffrey. Na Fianna lining up for this one, collecting it on the run. Redden, he can score. Redden, they're going to go for goal again. Can they get it? The answer is very much yes. It's a really good finish from David Lacey.
Yeah, but when you get goal opportunities or 50-50 opportunities, you've got to take it. You know, Redden identified they had a number of bodies where they could have got something away. Great run through the middle. There was 2 there unmarked. Whitehall were backtracking, hadn't enough guys back behind the ball. Flicks it in, plenty of steps to get across in front of the goal. He sticks it into the corner. But it's, you know, identifying when there's an opportunity for goal and going for it. I mentioned Whitehall, a couple of opportunities where they got a point rather than maybe going for the goal. Na Fianna have been clinical in front of goal.
Here's Owen O'Donnell, who's goal hungry in hurling and football in the last couple of weeks. He is fouled there by Ryan. Lee Gannon, Adam McDermott. McDermott doesn't have the legs. Well collected by O'Donnell. Or Hanlon, I beg your pardon. David Lacey, fresh from scoring that goal. Seamus Smith just couldn't quite keep a hold of it, but the officials say came off a Whitehall Colmcille player last, and it's a line ball to Na Fianna. Here's Redden. Whitehall Colmcille, turn it over, win it back. Good work from Josh Thorpe. Adam McDermott. Eddie Moran. Eddie Moran going direct. Well taken by Enda O'Donnell. Owen is inside. Enda will go for the point. That's actually going to stay in play. O'Hanlon takes it at his ease. Remember when you'd be pretty much hooked off the pitch straight away for going back across your own goal. Now, players are all so comfortable in possession, it doesn't matter. Into the corner it goes. That's a decent ball. Will it just beat him there, running after Brian O'Leary? It does beat him. Short it goes to Josh Thorpe. Luke McCarthy will have to run after this one and gets there. Keane. 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 He's fouled. Wanted to take it quickly. Referee is going to call it back. Well, he has called it back.
Yeah, it didn't look like the referee had given an advantage there when Keane stopped, but fortunate enough to get something out of it. Yeah, a bit of getting to know each other going on there. Lee Gannon and David Lacey. Dave Feeney will have a word. Chance for Costello. You mentioned there's a strong breeze coming their way. Wouldn't be surprised if we go short with this. Watch for Owen O'Donnell on the peel here.
Costello. It is Owen O'Donnell. Costello continues to run inside. And there was a foul off the ball. It's a free in from a very good position for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, just as well, because he pulled it across the goal again, Owen O'Donnell, but you know, it was evident Costello was setting up to look for someone on a pass. O'Donnell showed we missed the incident in between. It looked like maybe Chris Keane was impeded. Resulted in the free. You know, a couple of big plays for Whitehall here. They need to narrow that gap, 7-point difference. I know there's a breeze to come behind them. Hard to see them hitting 8 or 10 points without Na Fianna scoring, so they're going to need possibly a goal. Gives Costello a chance to bring it back to 6. You'd expect him to get this one, and then can they put a press on the kick out?
A yellow card for Ali Fitzgerald, by the way. And over it goes, a much needed score.
Yeah, brilliant opening half. Costello, 4 scores, 2 play, 2 frees. Just not enough coming from elsewhere around the field for them at the moment.
Making it burst out to it, Aaron Byrne. He was well defended there by Sean Giles. Really good work by the cornerback.
Yeah, great work by Giles. Tested the strength of the jersey too. Not spotted by Feeney. Gets away with one.
Costello loses it. Good tackle. He was held up well by Conor early. Smith is the target. It might bounce kindly for Caffrey. Caffrey, does he have the beating of Scanlon? He'll try. Caffrey sets it up. He's in again. It's Lacey. And a second goal for him. A third goal for Na Fianna. It was really well set up by Smith, who got there, just held it up, and Lacey ran onto it and sent it home.
Yeah, what a great run by Lacey coming through there. Look at the guy, he's past the 45 when he picks up the ball. Caffrey, brilliant way to pass across, takes the defenders out of the game. Great finish by Lacey, but that's a very unselfish run, and he's 30 yards behind the ball at the time it's picked up inside. He decides he's going to do everything to get there to create an opportunity for the man making the pass. Caffrey did well, looked like he was going to take it on himself. Brilliant pass across for Lacey to bury it. It's a long road back for Whitehall, despite any breeze that's coming there. You'd need a hurricane maybe, but it's goals. They're not going to win the game scoring points, so they need to get themselves a goal fairly quickly if they're going to turn this game around.
Brilliant work from Caffrey. Smith did his part as well. Caffrey saw that Lacey was making a burst, and it was quite a burst from Lacey. It would not have been out of place at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. I'd say he easily covered 100 metres in 8 seconds there. He broke the record.
Yeah, look, we mentioned it, there's a half chance of a goal, so can you make it a full chance? And that's what, making those lung bursters does. Caffrey turns, he's a 50-50 opportunity, maybe getting a goal. Suddenly Lacey comes into the play, spins it across, and a half chance of a goal turns into a 100% banker, buries it, 3-6. You're suddenly giving yourself daylight between the opposition. Allows you to set yourself up now for the second half.
Lacey was down injured there for a second, or maybe he was just drawing his breath. After a run like that, not his first in this game, you would need to take a breather. Whitehall, Colmcille need a big turnaround here, but they have big players, so it is possible. Gannon picks out Thorpe. Thorpe looking for McDermott and finding him. Scanlon. Good pass by Scanlon. Sean Giles. Giles looking for options. Runs into heavy traffic, but it's good running from Giles. If that's a score, if that goes over, it's really, really good. It's excellent from Giles.
Yeah, did brilliant there. Great leadership. Found a gap, ploughed on through it, stuck it up in the air. Maybe at the time it dropped over the bar, he was giving himself less of a hit and hope, or more of a hit and hope than actually something that was guaranteed. Half-time whistle goes, and a nice response on the back of the goal. But it's a long road back for Whitehall heading into this second half. Took Fianna a while to grow into it. But certainly the last 20 minutes, or over the last quarter hour of that first half, they've been a much better side. And as I mentioned, half chance of a goal. They've managed to turn 3 of them into 100%, and they go in with a nice advantage at half-time.
We'll have a look at the highlights in just a moment. In fact, let's look at them now. It started well for Whitehall Colmcille in this game. They scored the first 2 points.
Yeah, well, look, we mentioned Cormac Costello, obviously, and the impact that he could have. He had 2 on the board after 4 minutes, so really great start for them. Took Fianna 6 minutes to get their score, which was Aaron Byrne coming through on the peel here. Again, there was potentially half-chance goals, took it over the bar, but from there they grew out into it. We've seen David Hanlon across the half, adding a couple of scores. So, after 10 minutes, we had 2 points apiece. And from there, then Fianna seemed to take over. Brilliant ball inside to Brian O'Leary, and he sticks one over the bar to 3-2 before Fianna managed to come back. I mentioned Chris Keane has been left inside on his own. Did brilliant there to show and go. Or Connor Keane, a bigger pardon, to turn and stick it over the bar. So, look, 12 minutes in, it's 3 points apiece. And then this is arguably the thing that turns around Conor McHugh's goal chance. Left the field not very long after this with a pulled up chasing back. Brilliant finish. The power when he picked up the ball there to take on his defender. Go for a score. Again, I mentioned bodies and not doing their job. There's 3-4 Whitehall players. No one actually picking up Vinny Flynn as he's passing through there. Again, look at the far side of the field. Glenn O'Reilly this time. Lots of players, but no one actually tagging a man. And all of a sudden it's gone from 3 points apiece to 1-5. David O'Hanlon's second one. Suddenly 20 minutes gone. After a brilliant opening 10 minutes, they're 1-6 to 3 points down. Good response again. Finnan inside. Owen O'Donnell probably need to see a little bit more of him inside because it's only himself. Costello really who threatened from a forward perspective. Brilliant score here. Without isolating the man on the ball, Costello gets his third of the day, narrows the gap. It's 1-6 to 5 at that point, and maybe there's a roll back from Fianna. And then is there a goal chance on? Arguably, Redden's pass creates it. Lacey cuts across, sticks it into the net. 2-6 to 5. Costello sticks another one over, so it's a 6-point game. Very next play. Brilliant. Watch the run. Lacey is busting along, pulls at a defender to make sure he's the one winning the ball. Brilliant finish as well. Brilliant goal for Fianna, and thoroughly deserved, because when they've identified those chances, they've gone after them. Nice to close out with a point for Whitehall to narrow the gap once more. But it's an 8-point gap. It's going to require a massive second half from Whitehall if they're going to get something from the game.
Half time here in Parnell Park, defeated 3-6 Whitehall, Colmcille 7 points. Remember, both of these two teams lost their opening encounters, so a win here would be absolutely huge. In O'Toole Park, they're deep in injury time at the end of the first half. It's Ballantyre St John's 1-6, Ballyboden St Enda's 9 points. This is the first of 2 live games on Dubs TV today. Don't forget, coming up later, we've got Thomas Davis against Raheny. That one starting at 5:30. We'll also keep an eye on what's happening in O'Toole Park. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the second half. Stay with us. It's looking good for Na Fianna as we go into the second half of this go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship encounter. Na Fianna 3-6, Whitehall, Colmcille 7 points. Later on, by the way, we've got live coverage of the Group 3 encounter of Thomas Davis and Raheny. Both of those teams won their opening matches, which is the opposite of the two teams that we're watching here. Coleman, what are you expecting from the second half of this game?
Yeah, but look, very simply, Na Fianna probably, I don't want to keep doing what they're doing, but, you know, if they get a goal opportunity and they take it, I think it's game over. But for, you know, Whitehall's point of view, they need to get scores early on here to try and give themselves a little bit of momentum and a little bit of belief they're able to turn this around. Looks like Oisin Murray has come into the middle of the field for Whitehall, so a couple of changes. Look, I guess the big thing from a Whitehall perspective is they need to be more competitive, so they can't allow Na Fianna sit back. They can't allow Na Fianna just dictate how they're playing balls and looking for passes inside. So they really need to go after this, put a big press on kick-outs, try and turn over ball higher up the field. They'll have the benefit of the wind. You know, they had 8 or 9 scoring opportunities in that first half. 4 wide, they left 3 into the goalie's hands, short one of those, or a fourth one probably a little bit of a distance out, but it was definitely a shot towards the post. So they have scoring opportunities in them. They'll just need to be a lot more clinical second half.
In O'Toole Park, at half-time, it's Ballyboden St Enda's 1-9, Ballantyre St John's 1-7. Warren Egan with a very late first-half goal, giving Ballyboden the lead there. Carey had got the goal earlier in the half for Ballantyre. Good start for Whitehall Colmcille. They've got the free in.
Yeah, and the rain seems to be coming out to me the second half here as well, blowing across here into our commentary position on the far side of the field. Make things a little bit more difficult. It'll take 2 bites at the ball, certainly for any of the forwards inside looking for early ball. Costello's been very good from place balls.
Looking to score his third from a free.
With that, the curse of the commentator. Good man, Coleman.
O'Hanlon, who's also been excellent from place balls, scoring a 45 and a free. Rolls it short. Tricky conditions as the rain begins to fall. Na Fianna playing around with it. Donal Ryan named to replace Owen Merchant. Not an easy task, but he's done it well.
Yeah, great pick up, Derek Kennedy there. Ball travelling along the deck, wet surface. Managed to get a boot and hands underneath it. Brilliant, Glenn O'Reilly. Great strength to hold off the Whitehall tackle. Costello in that instance.
Donal Ryan being chased down there by Eddie Moran. Ryan is fouled by Moran, free in.
Yeah, Eddie Moore not happy, but I'm not sure what he's not happy about. He had his jersey before a free was given. David Hanlon's going to make the long walk up the field again and have a look at this. More difficult with the breeze blowing into his face. But again, that difference in intensity. Na Fianna seem to be a little bit stronger in the tackle, working that little bit harder to make sure when they get an opportunity, they manage to turn it over.
O'Hanlon coming up to strike this one. It's not impossible to qualify winning one match, but it's incredibly difficult. So Whitehall Colmcille need to pull this one out of the bag. They need a result to keep the destiny in their own hands. The other game, by the way, in this group this weekend is taking place tomorrow. That's between St Vincent's and St Jude's in O'Toole Park. We've got 2 games live from Parnell Park here. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening in the other games going on in O'Toole Park. Here's O'Hanlon. Kind of got under it. Does it have the elevation? Does it have the distance? It does. He measured that one perfectly.
Yeah, outstanding kick from David O'Hanlon. Hung and hung and hung, but eventually dropped over the bar. Great score. Great effort from O'Hanlon, and just pushes it out to that 9-point margin.
And the rain is coming in on top of our commentary position here as we both scramble to get back inside. Here's Sean Giles. Lee Gannon. Gannon squeezes a pass down the line to the fullback, Matty Moran. Sean Giles, who got that excellent point at the end of the first half. Luke McCarthy has a man outside. Owen O'Donnell is in the square. Whitehall Colmcille need goals. Oh, he just showed too much of that to the Na Fianna defence, and now Vinnie Flynn will counter-attack. Ryan. Byrne trying to get around Thorpe. Thorpe holds him out for now. Fitzgerald. Well, that's frustrating for Whitehall Colmcille because they had the opportunity to get it inside and just lost that composure when it was needed.
Yeah, and they're probably thinking goals. I've mentioned it, you know, but unless, you know, you're 100% sure when you're on the ball, you know, thinking ahead a couple of moves maybe cause you that, you know, lost opportunity.
David Quinn is on for Na Fianna. David Quinn in the rain in Parnell Park. Loses his footing, but that's because he was fouled and it's a free in.
Yeah, so great in the ball. Like, you know, he's a slight figure when you compare him to some of the others out in the field, but he never or rarely ever gives the ball away. Very solid on it. No difficult angle in terms of a free, but you know, eating into time, eating into the clock. Lee Gannon getting a speaking to, just a marking in the book.
David Quinn. O'Reilly. Well, the one thing about the rain is it has killed the breeze. Here's Caffrey, who set up the third goal, but doesn't score that point.
Yeah, and that's where those wides were dropping for Whitehall in the first half. The breeze, you know, while it's, you know, blown down the field, it's probably blown across our direction. Ah, great commitment to the ball, Glenn O'Reilly, brilliant. You know, 50-50, that just demonstrates the difference between the two teams at the minute. Committed everything to that, manages to orchestrate a turnover for Fianna.
Early, got it to Ryan, who was fouled by Costello, free out.
Yeah, silly foul from Cormac Costello, a little bit of frustration, I imagine. You know, he can see that there's balls there for the winning, that Fianna are getting ahead of players to get to.
Well taken. Brian O'Leary. O'Leary trying to get away from Giles. Giles fouls him. Well, he'll claim that he was tackling the ball rather than the man, but the referee, I think, is indicating that he was tugging his arm.
Yeah, you know, a little bit unlucky. Giles was very strong there, but he probably did have a hand in around him. You know, that gave Dave Feeney an opportunity to award the free. Dave O'Hanlon trots up once more. Could finish as top scorer here, the way things are going, albeit that Lacey has 2 goals to his name.
Well, he's looking for a 4th score here, David O'Hanlon. And a second of the second half. Didn't catch that one well.
Yeah, I guess it kind of travelled as he kicked it there, directly across the goal, but you know, 6-7 minutes into the second half, and Whitehall, you know, maybe bar a half chance again, turnover and the kick out.
Flynn intercepted. Has plenty of options. Well taken by Conor Early. Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has a look up. Seamus Smith probing around the square. Here's Finney Flynn taking on the shot, Kieran Redden. And that was a good score. Redden's first of the game.
Yeah, great score, Kieran Redden. It's a little bit, you know, they're taking on where they left off at the end of the first half there. Very dominant around the field. Big pressure on the kick out. The Whitehall not managing to win it. You know, gap is lengthened out to 10 points. Long row back and just, you know, difficulty trying to secure possession. Again, turned over from the kick out.
Intercepted by Caffrey.
Goal chance on again here, I think.
Aaron Byrne trying to shake off the defender. Aaron Byrne. Well blocked. Byrne just fists over the point in the end. Giles got back and did his job. Didn't stop his team conceding, but if the goal had gone in there, I think this game would have been over. You could make an argument that it already is.
Yeah, but look, it's on kick out there. You know, Fianna are, you know, so hungry, looking for a turnover possession there. They're putting a real squeeze on the kick out. Realise that they can compete if it comes long into the middle of the field, so don't allow them kick it short. Hear all the noise. Huge pressure.
Sean Giles kicked the last score of the first half. That was for Whitehall Colmcille. But in the second half, Whitehall Colmcille yet to get on the scoreboard. Fianna have scored 3 without reply. Here's O'Donnell. O'Donnell trying to get away here from Glenn O'Reilly. O'Donnell. Good ball. Conor Keane. Keane. That's a fantastic trick by Keane. Oh, he's unlucky with the finish. Sold the dummy. Committed the defender, but the shot was poor.
Yeah, and that was despite a commentary from underneath us here. Just kept shouting right foot, right foot. He did turn back onto his right foot, but sold an absolute pearl of a dummy. Just wasn't able to get the shot away. Accurate. Oh, well covered by Kearns.
Really well covered. Keane. Playing advantage at the moment. Whitehall Colmcille to take the shot on, knowing the free is coming anyway. But that's a good score. They need a lot more of that.
Yeah, well, work from Gannon there. Probably an advantage for Keane and how he had driven through the gap there. managed to flick it back to Lee Gannon, I think it was, who popped it over the bar. First score of the second half for Whitehall has taken them all of 9 minutes to get that logged, and just shows the difficulty they have at the minute in terms of securing possession and then creating the chances to try and narrow this gap that the Fianna have created.
Really well taken point by Lee Gannon. Whitehall Colmcille win the primary possession. Oisin Murray got onto it. Here's Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell goes outside. Costello from a tight angle while falling over, kicks it wide. He's unlucky.
Well, you know what he had in his mind? He was heading for goal. That's what he was thinking. He thought if he could open it up, he might get a shot away to give Whitehall a little bit more impetus and momentum. Defenders did well to come across and put him under pressure, and he just sends it wide again on the left-hand side. I think that their 7th wide that they've kicked. 40 minutes on the clock. It just, you can't be that profligate in front of goal and hope to win championship matches. So it's a big problem for Whitehall in terms of the scores as the clock continues to tick down on them.
O'Hanlon. Fitzgerald couldn't get his hands on it, but then his teammate slides into it. Seamus Smith, really great work. Brian O'Leary. Outside to Byrne, who's scored 2 points. O'Reilly. Fitzgerald. Making a burst there with Redden. Wasn't spotted, but this is really good running from Flynn. Flynn could have taken it in, instead just taps it over.
Yeah, definitely good take it in. The run from Redden actually opened up that little space for Flynn to throw the whole through it afterwards. Brilliant score, working some space at the end, it's so much better at the moment. No, great score. You mentioned he could have gone for goals, that's right, he didn't need it. Probably right at this stage.
Keep working the scoreboard. 19 points, plays 8 points when you make the conversion. A change being made by Whitehall Colmcille. I think that's McDermott who's gone off on the far side. The Fianna win the possession again. Flynn, it just gets away from him. Scanlon supports him with a good run. That's really good work. Here's Owen O'Donnell. Owen O'Donnell, he's impossible to stop unless you get 2 or 3 around him, which is exactly what the Fianna did, and they turn it over and get the free out.
Yeah, Owen did the win from the back there. A lot of defenders helped him out. I think the Fianna happy when the ball was turned over from Owen O'Donnell. They really left something in on Owen O'Donnell. Owen O'Donnell is clutching the back of his leg. Also looks like Vinnie Flynn is taking a hop there, he's on the ground as well, so hopefully Owen O'Donnell not too badly injured, but certainly looked like something happened after he spilled the ball there in terms of the contact. They feel looking to have a chat with, certainly has called Owen O'Donnell over. It doesn't look good for Owen O'Donnell the way he's prone on his back. Owen O'Donnell didn't fully see what happened, but there was something left on Owen O'Donnell. Brilliant work defensively from the Fianna, swallowed him up, enough guys got back behind it. Vinnie Flynn probably looking okay. O'Donnell maybe taking a bit of a breather too, hopefully see him back in the action.
Well, a few of the Whitehall Colmcille players who would be dual senior club players have opted out of hurling for the moment. Owen O'Donnell hasn't, he's a busy man, doesn't seem to have affected him. Picked up a yellow card there, but working unbelievably hard for his team, just not getting the quality of service that he needs, especially in the second half. That's very, very used by O'Hanlon, uncharacteristically so. Can Whitehall Colmcille take advantage? It is Owen O'Donnell, and that was a good shoulder from O'Reilly. O'Donnell is down. Great save, and the follow-up from Moore goes over the bar.
Yeah, big hit there, came across on Owen O'Donnell, he didn't get blindsided. Certainly caught him on the shoulder, it was a big hit here a couple of years ago. Where it was blindsided as well, but certainly big hit, and O'Donnell managed to spill the ball from him, but the Fianna did get out of the ball to turn it over, trying to get over an opportunity. O'Hanlon batted it away, Moore came in to clip it over the bar.
Trying to retrieve is Dara Kennedy. You can't do so. Line ball for Whitehall Colmcille, who are showing a bit of fight here. That's good to see. You wouldn't expect anything else, granted. Can they create some goal chances? That's the big question. Lee Gannon. Fantastic score from Lee Gannon.
Super score, Lee Gannon, you know, once we're doing his back and we finish it like that, you can see why he can try moving forward. Benches, you know, behind him, with the shot here, over the side, and so but again, to know each other, maybe not spotted by the referee, that's the line, not see it.
Yeah, great battling from O'Donnell to get it back. Had a bit of help as well, wins the free. They want to take it quickly because there were gaps. Those gaps now closed.
Yeah, just the last couple of minutes, the Fianna got very scrappy. They kind of panicked a little bit. Hand kicked one away that led to the half, or the chance that O'Donnell had where he picked up the yellow card. Again, ball given away in the middle of the field, or a kick out again from O'Hanlon, where there's a great pressure put on by two Whitehall players. So they are putting a big fight on, a big period of the game. They need to get us a couple of scores.
Busy weekend for Whitehall Colmcille as Costello guides that one over and makes it 3 points in a row for Whitehall Colmcille. Still a lot more work to do, but chipping away. There's a double header in Cochrane tomorrow with the Junior Football Championship and first round of the Intermediate Camogie Championship. That starts at 10:30. All welcome for that double header at Cochrane tomorrow, starting at 10:30. The junior footballers in the Intermediate Camogie. Endo O'Donnell tries to keep this one alive and does. Endo O'Donnell chased down by Brian O'Leary. O'Donnell. It's a good run. Costello's inside. Did a Fianna hand get on the end of that? No, it was just a slightly misguided pass. He was unlucky.
Yeah, but again, it's off favour O'Hanlon kick out. Whitehall totally dominant now on kick outs. Fianna not giving O'Hanlon enough options for a quick kick out. There's one because they haven't managed to reset. Gives the Fianna a chance to build something because they've been close there for the last 5 minutes.
Doyle Ryan. Killian Deely is in, by the way, for Fianna. There he is. Fitzgerald. Deely loops his run around. Fitzgerald. Deely. There's a gap for Deely to run into. This could be it. And he can't keep the shot down. Aaron Byrne, I think he's happy enough at the point.
Yeah, everyone on the ball on the loop to create the opportunity for Byrne to get another score on the ball from Fianna. A nice response for them. 6-7 minutes since they managed to get a score from Byrne tag on. Gap gone from 11 to 8, pushes back out to 9.
The first score since the 42nd minute. And Fianna went back to David Quinn. Caffrey, wanted to play on. Well, there was some confusion there because the referee was pointing one way and the free was the other. He did make that clarification. Caffrey thought he was away, but we'll have to go back. And Glara Norton will be very happy with the position his team are in. And it's not like they were very bad against St. Jude's the first day. The Jude's were just very good. That was handled on the ground. It's a free out. This isn't done yet, though. Gannon. Gannon looks like he's fouled off the ball. They play on. Luke McCarthy finds his man inside. I think that's Keane. It is Keane. He's absolutely surrounded, but gets it to O'Donnell. O'Donnell in here. O'Donnell, can he pull on that one? He was unlucky. Again, just crowded out. And Costello fouls Ryan on the way out. It's another free out.
O'Donnell's so lucky there. Just as he was about to draw a from the ball that broke, it just got a little nudge that put him off. Brilliant again, feet from Keane. Quick hands as O'Donnell turns here. Watch as he's about to pull. Just a little nudge off the corner back there.
Gus Farr just knocked him out of his play. And the goal chance goes vacant again from a Whitehall perspective.
Redden trying to get away from Costello. Here's early. Risky enough. That doesn't work out. It's a Whitehall Colmcille line ball. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, scoring difference can make a huge difference at the end of a group, whether you're trying to get out of it or whether you're trying to avoid relegation. So Whitehall Colmcille can still lose this one, but if they can get a few more scores on the board, it won't be as bad as it could be. Here's Deely. comes together there with Cannon.
Yeah, very messy. I think Dave Feeney, there's a couple of tackles there earlier in the move there. There's a late tackle from Colmcille, I think, one of the Fianna players coming out. Again, there, Gavin did very hard on the Fianna defender. It's probably.
If you just look at the tackle, he's thundering into the back of them here. It's a bad tackle, leaves it on him, swings a boot across as well there. You can understand, I suppose, the reaction from Killian D, but Dave Feeney is quite clear who he's going to speak to initially. He might get a word too as well.
In O'Toole Park, it is Ballyboden St Enda's 111, Ballantyre St John's 110. There's 44 minutes gone in that game in O'Toole Park, and Ballyboden lead by 1 against Ballantyre. It is a throw ball, which the Fianna take. Ken O'Reilly went down, free out. Nine points between them, but it feels a lot closer. It might actually get a bit closer here. Colmcille can get a score. They'll certainly have a free.
Referee is given a free in. The free given a foul of a trip, or was the foul? The trip was done with the hands. And technically it should be a black card, but doesn't seem to be any more interested in that. Certainly did get a touch away from the ball, but it was a...
Costello guides it over. It's a much needed score for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, kind of set things a little bit scrappy across the field there. 10 minutes left to go. Costello keeps the score ticking over for Whitehall, just narrows the gap a little bit more for them. 8 points, they need a goal if they have to turn this round in any way.
And they're a team who can get goals, since we saw against St Vincent's in the first round. And certainly getting great chances, as we've already seen today. Good strong fists. O'Donnell. Costello's up top. O'Donnell up against O'Reilly. O'Donnell needs help. Gets it from Luke McCarthy. Owen O'Donnell squeezes a pass through, and they've lost it. Seamus Smith back there to tidy up for the Fianna. David Quinn. Donal Ryan. Dealey. Trying to cover him there. Sean Forey's come off the bench. Donal Ryan. Donal Ryan runs onto his own pass, if that makes sense. Recycled it to Caffrey. Caffrey takes the hits and ploughs through. Caffrey was burned inside, loses it, but gets the free in.
Yeah, I think he's heard free offer. We're trying hard to try and free himself up there. They feel reckon he was being pulled back and didn't throw the ball ahead of himself. But I think the foul being committed before that. Good open to the second half of the Fianna. Probably lost away a little bit across the last quarter of an hour or so. If you look at after 37 minutes, it was 3-9 to 7 points. They've only managed a couple of scores since then, and it's 5 that Whitehall tagged on. So you're expecting a perfect patch from Whitehall, but I think it's probably down to a little bit of complacency from the Fianna's point of view, where they've been opened up a little bit for Whitehall. A couple of half-goal scoring opportunities maybe that Whitehall could have got something from. And to tap it over.
Wide from Aaron Byrne.
Very poor kick from Aaron Byrne, alongside the post from a free-taker perspective. Poor wide.
Luke McCarthy will have to go again.
I'm not sure if Dave Feeney is speaking to someone or just substitute to come off or something in the field.
I think it's Dara Scanlon on the far side. He appears to be making his way towards the line. No, he's not. He's just kind of getting into a wider position. It's a chain. Donal Ryan is going after the Fianna. It's on the other side.
Yeah, I don't think the goal was leaving until he had someone covering back where he's supposed to be.
Luke McCarthy. Foul free out. Brian O'Leary receiving a speaking to by the referee and getting a yellow card. It's a card you take from the Fianna point of view to stop the opposition, building any momentum, getting anywhere near the goal. Kearns. Kearns has pace. It's a strong run, but again, just crowding out early. Pokes the ball into the path of Tom Brennan. Brennan. Smith. Caffrey. Caffrey finding his way through. Popping up for Aaron Byrne, who's been prolific in the second half. Aaron Byrne guides it over. That's his fourth from play by my count.
Yeah, probably look for a goal chance again. He's a couple of goals that have skimmed over the crossbar. Maybe there's been a goal also. Don't need goals at this stage. Points are obviously good enough. The gap that they built up at half time remains there. A lot of back to hard second half, particularly for a quarter. Half a chance here, mate.
Ballyboden now lead by 3, by the way, against Ballantyre. And Whitehall Colmcille narrow the gap. It's Conor Keane who's full of running. Advantage being played. Endo O'Donnell turning and twisting and losing another free comes for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, the feeling around that goal, they don't give it away. Simple foul, I guess, that you're stopping the man and trying to get the goal. Keane in that instance. Very good on the ball. Every time he's got it, he's looked to try and create something. He's good feet. He's managed to create space for himself. Freeze at this stage probably not sufficient. Costello knock it over, trying to put a squeeze on there.
Oh, he goes for it and saves! And another save, followed up from the boot of Oisin Murray. Can they get something out of this through O'Donnell? Yes, they can. 3 bites of the cherry. The last one they swallowed.
Yeah, preemptive that he was going to tap it over the bars, going to go across the ball. Hannon did well, pushed there again. Second time, he's got big hands on the ball. Rebound, came back out again. O'Donnell managed to knock it over the bar. I mentioned they put a good fight in the second half. Just haven't managed to track the goal in terms of goal scoring opportunity. The other end, there always seems to be a little bit of space in the finger.
Here's Smith. Early wants it, gets it. Connor Early. Early. Good score.
He was at the park with the red sleeve there, I think it was Quinn was coming through and popped it off. The 2 defenders went the same direction, just about there to slip through the middle there. Difficult scores going on, points for opportunities could became a lot easier for them. 9-point gap still remains.
And Fianna have scored 7 points, 8 points in the second half. Whitehall Colmcille have only managed 6. They needed goals. 3 goals in the first half for the Fianna. Had them in control at the break, and it's a control that they've never really lost. And that's a really, really fine score.
Yeah, big hit, great score. Out against the Breeze. Probably dropped a little bit after the shower that we had here, but when he managed to turn on it, pulling across the goal, big score.
Excellent score for Sean Ford. So Fianna sees control of their own destiny. And it is St. Vincent's for them last up. Vincent's, of course, playing St. Jude's tomorrow. That'll be an interesting game. That will put a bit more shape on the group as we head towards the last day. Lee Gannon. Gannon with the goose step. We'll see a bit of that tonight, perhaps between Ireland and Samoa. Gannon drops it in. O'Hanlon did enough. Good goalkeeping. I think it was Glenn O'Reilly who was back there as well.
Yeah, did very well. Gannon probably looking for a point drop short between the two of them. They managed to clear it. Yeah, great stuff. O'Hanlon has played well. A couple of, maybe kicks that went against him in the second half, turning his own kick out. He's been very good from place balls. Solid enough goalkeeping performance too. Can be happy with this afternoon's work.
O'Reilly goes backwards and gives away the line ball again. Shouldn't make too much difference, but there is, even though they're going to win this was relatively comfortably, there is a bit for Larry Norton and his backroom team to work on for the Fianna.
Yeah, I look, they have been outscored. We can mention that quarter in the middle of the second half, I suppose. But they kind of lost away a little bit, came under a little bit of pressure, and Whitehall with the intensity were very physical in terms of their tackling. Seemed to cause the Fianna a problem.
Matty Moran.
Action for him, I'm afraid to say. Take it on, just a goal needed to try and turn things around. Or, as you rightly mentioned, across the second half here, scoring difference. If you can narrow that gap, give yourself an opportunity if it comes down to a lot of teams, or a couple of teams finishing on 2 points. Another wide. That was 5 across the second half, on top of the 4 first half. 9 wides, they dropped short as well. So they've had opportunities, just haven't managed to deliver on them.
in comparison to the Fianna, who those half chances turn into goal, full goal chances, and managed to get 3 of them.
Luke McCarthy put it out for the line, Paul. Keep an eye out, by the way, on the Dublin GA social media channels for the highlights of this game. Alternatively, you can watch the whole thing back via our YouTube channel. Another live game to come at 5:30. It's Thomas Davis against Raheny. 1:14 Ballyboden, 1:11 Ballantyre St John's. 21 minutes gone in that game in O'Toole Park. 3 between them. A little bit overcooked, doesn't really matter. Ali Fitzgerald looking for Caffrey. Caffrey doing his best to make it stick, but it was well defended by Sean Giles. Dara Scanlon. Scanlon pinning the ears back and just running out of room. Good pressure by Glenn O'Ryan. But the referee actually says that it's a foul. Or does he? No, it's a line ball for the Fianna, sorry.
I think it was a foul. Great work from Glenn O'Ryan, put the pressure on, thought he might, have the heels to burn him off, didn't manage to do that, and O'Ryan stuck with him, both slid over the sideline. Great defending, great work.
Gibbons to Smith. Gibbons. Fianna looking for more. Tom Brennan. Brennan wants it back. Smith. David Quinn. Early is an option. It's the option he takes. All the way back to O'D. Not bad from the Fianna, considering they lost Conor McHugh early in the game, just after he scored the goal, and of course they started without Owen Merchant. O'Reilly, Caffrey, Dara Kennedy, Caffrey, who set up that third goal so brilliantly. Costello strips him of possession. Endo O'Donnell. He's pretty much all on his own. Endo O'Donnell, he's been chased down by Dara Kennedy. Still Endo O'Donnell, nice support is there. Endo O'Donnell, still going. Endo O'Donnell! It's a good point when you consider the distance he had to move. He wanted the goal, he had to settle for the point in the end.
Yeah, great work from Endo O'Donnell to get something from the I guess ultimately from the move there, but great defending again from Owen O'D. Very strong, men in body, chest on as he was travelling towards the goal. Hard to stop that pace, and he's powerful enough individual too. O'D did well to put a stop on him with a great score from O'Donnell.
O'D is there as an out ball. O'Reilly. Well taken, Gibbons. Gibbons showing good fleet of foot. Outside to Seamus Smith. Conor Early. Caffrey was an option. Early just hangs on to it. Brian O'Leary. O'Leary, an unusual pass, but it works out. Breaks kind of off the knees of Dealey. Dealey loses it. Whitehall Colmcille have it back.
Yeah, a super pick out coming out from Kearns there. Lovely lands from Caffrey. He's had a good game since he came in for Conor McHugh. Be very visible for the Fianna. A great option off the bench. Clearly, be looking to start, obviously, with something that was added. When you come in, can you do and make a difference? Certainly done that. It was unlucky, fast hands, unlucky not to get it away, but great pace, great feet from Kearns coming out. Lovely toe lift.
Costello. Outside to O'Donnell. Enda gives to Owen. It's a good run, well taken by Gannon. Lost the ball in heavy contact. O'Leary. O'Leary with 3 Whitehall Colmcille players around him, but he keeps his head. And more importantly, the football. Smith. Gibbons. Brennan. And that's it. The Fianna get their first win in the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship for 2023. 3-13 to 15 points the final score. And I think they were worthy of that victory, Coleman.
Yeah, very strong. The foundations for the win were obviously solid in the first half. 3-6 to 7 going in at half time, so they built themselves a lovely advantage. They knew they didn't have to do it. They had to go out and perform in the second half. But once they were conceding goals, they were always going to have the upper hand in terms of seeing it out and getting results. Dodgy patch, maybe 15 minutes through the second half there, where they struggled, came under pressure on their own kick out. And the Fianna or Whitehall were outscoring them and looked like they were trying to build, or were building a little bit of momentum. Had managed to kick 3 scores on the spin, but ultimately, White and the Fianna were able to get a couple of scores in response, and while Whitehall did tag a few against that, they just couldn't get that breakthrough goal that would have given them a little bit more life. So well-deserved victory. Would have been disappointed with their opening day performance where they lost out, as too would Whitehall. But certainly it's the Fianna who will take more from that, with Whitehall work to do as they head into their final group game.
So it's the Fianna who win 3-13, that's 22 points to Whitehall. Colmcille's 15 points. In the other game going on at the moment at O'Toole Park, Ballybowden lead by 2. There's 3 minutes to go in that match. If we don't manage to get you a result before the end of this broadcast, we'll bring it to you at the start of the next. It's a half-5 throw-in between Thomas Davis and Rahimi. That's coming up live and for free on Dubs TV. But before all that, let's take a look at the highlights of the second half.
Yeah, we had thought at the start of the second half that Whitehall would come out maybe looking for earlier scores, but it was the Fianna who kicked off. O'Hanlon had another one. We did get a bout of rain as well, which had an impact. But in those opening 7 minutes of the second half or 8 half, the Fianna tagged on 3 scores. O'Hanlon, obviously with the free from the middle of the field. Then we had a input as well from Kieran Redden with a great score. And then inside line, particularly in the second half, Aaron Byrne was excellent. I mentioned the impact that Caffrey had. Maybe half chance goal, you decide to take it on, but manages to get something out, which is well worked. And then at that point you're thinking that it was a long road back. It was 3-9 to 7 points. Whitehall were looking for goals early on. There was an advantage given there when the ball was popped back. Managed to be stuck over the bar from Lee Gannon, who played well in the second half. Was looking to try and create that little bit more. It's just finding those gaps. They managed to do it time after time. With the Fianna in terms of the scores that they were able to create and find a little space. Vinnie Flynn that time. Big hit there from Glenn O'Reilly and Owen O'Donnell. Half a goal chance appears. Brilliant hands from O'Hanlon. Comes back to Moran, who taps it over the bar. That was midway or quarter way through the second half. Brilliant score from Lee Gannon then. Backs it up not long after that. So they're suddenly starting to tag scores together and looking at giving themselves opportunity. And Costello, who was good from frees, Owen O'Donnell, had a big impact in terms of winning frees. And they were putting a big squeeze on them. There was a 4 or 5 minute spell there where they were managing to narrow the gap. But in fairness, when you're looking for scores, it's creating space, big gap through the middle. Aaron Byrne on the outside again, goal chance, just knocks it over the bar. 3-11 to 11 points. There's still that 9 cap difference. Great feet. Mentioned Keane, flies the hands. Just as O'Donnell looks to pull the trigger here, a lovely little nudge that puts him off. Big hit from Costello came in after that, and then manages to knock one over. A free from Costello. At that stage was, obviously game was over for a long time. Mentioned again, Caffrey, look who's coming off his shoulder. Byrne, 3rd score of the half. Brilliant finish again. Mentioned how low he keeps them going over the bar. Costello took one on. We expected him to go for it. Brilliant coming out from the defender. I think was it Owen O'D again, or Red maybe coming off the line, who managed to get knees on it while Endo O'Donnell stuck it over the bar. The goal just wouldn't come for them. Mentioned the guys buying dummies. Allowed Conor Early through that time to stick it over the bar. And again, while they looked for the goals, it didn't come, but a monster score out on the sideline to wrap up the scoring really from a Whitehall perspective, despite this late effort from Endo O'Donnell. Big tackle there, brilliant from Owen O'D, the way he stops up the move. Now O'Donnell does brilliant too to get a shot away in terms of the score. So while they finished with 2 big ones, just wasn't enough to get them any way closer. Great result for the Fianna. It's them that move forward. Whitehall with work to do.
Those were the second half highlights, but it was the first half goals for the Fianna that were the difference in this game. So let's have a look at those.
Yeah, great power here from Conor McHugh. He was unfortunate to go off not long after this. Hand was got the ball, but still ends up in the back of the net. Call this out, I suppose, the first half. It's making those hard yards to try and create the goal scoring opportunity. Redden's pass, spot on here. Allows Lacey cut across the goalkeeper and stick it into the net. But similarly, just watch where Lacey comes from out of shot here. Look at the pace, he gets in touch on the defender, so he said, I'm winning this ball ahead of you. Drives through, and again, brilliant finish into the corner. And it was that, goal scoring, ability to finish off to create the chances that they created was ultimately the difference. And when you look at the scoreline on it, 3-13, 16 scores to 15, 3 of those are goals. The Fianna, as I mentioned, have 2 points on the board going into their final group game, coming up against Vincent's. Whitehall's a big ask now. They'll have to get a result in their final game in a couple of weeks' time. So tough ask for Whitehall.
So the final score from this one is Fianna 3-13, Whitehall Colmcille 15 points. The other game in the group takes place tomorrow in O'Toole Park as St Vincent's take on St Jude. So the group won't really be clear, and we won't really know what needs to be done by the teams going into the last round of games until after that game between Vincent's and Jude's tomorrow. Of course, both of those two already have wins. So Fianna, Jude's and Vincent's are all on 2 points, and Whitehall and Colmcille are on no points, having played 2 games. Obviously, Vincent's and Jude's play their second game tomorrow. I can tell you, deep in injury time in O'Toole Park, it's Ballyboden who lead Ballantyre St John's 116 to 113. Keep an eye out on the Dublin GA social media channels for the full-time score of that game. Or if you want to wait maybe 20 or so minutes until we're back on air, maybe just a little bit longer, you can do that, because we will bring you the full-time score. Coming up at 5:30, that's the throw-in time. It's Raheny against Thomas Davis. That's live and free on Dubs TV. As always, you can continue the conversation on social media via the hashtag GoAheadDSC, and of course you can check out the highlights of this game and all the games that we've shown so far this season on the YouTube channel, and you can find the links again through the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, etc. We'll be back for Raheny against Thomas Davis very shortly, so join us then.